Hello, welcome to the Knitting Project. This is episode 145 and today is July the 31st, 2023. Welcome if you are a new viewer, welcome back if you're a returning viewer. Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, it's been a bit of a break, but not as long as last time, thankfully. I'm not back on project yet, and I've got a couple of FOs, I've got a few whips, and it's very much all about the socks today. I'm really sorry. My sock knitting mojo, which has been absent for a little while, made a phenomenal return over the last week, and all I've done is knit socks. I have coffee with me. Oh, so how are you all? How are you doing? I'm going to try and keep this one relatively short because I've only got a little amount of time to edit, but judging by the amount of project bags I've got that side and the amount of purchases that I've got that side, it is going to be a little bit of an epic one. Right, let's get into it. So first of all, I've got finished objects. I've got two finished objects. I'll show you this one first. I don't think this was even a cast on when I last spoke to you, but I have finished these socks. There are two of them. One, two. So the yarn is a Lonely Knitter self-striping club from a couple of years ago. I love this yarn. These are Charlie's socks for July, which when we were counting up possibly our socks for September, but I knit them in July, so they're her July socks. And I used Laura's lovely pattern. So Laura's the Lonely Knitter, and this is the Friendship Links pattern, and I just love how this has turned out in self-striping. It's such a fun pattern to use. It works really well for self-striping, as you will see in one of my whips, because I have used it again. Wow, this is really dark. Why is it so dark? I hope it's not as dark in... I mean, this isn't dark, it's just me that's dark. Maybe it's the whole white balance struggling with my socks. Anyway, never mind. We'll go for it. Let's just go for it, because you can see the knitting, that's fine. It's just me that's dark. So yeah, so this is Laura's lovely pattern. It's called the Friendship Links socks, and as I said, you'll see that I've done a different one. I've used it for a different pair of socks and another whip. Wow, that was really badly explained, wasn't it? But I love this. I love how it's turned out. I did it on 2.5mm needles. Yeah, really pleased with that. Now this is an epic FO. And I might need some long-term viewers from the podcast to help me out with when I started these. Oh, having said that, no I don't, because it's in my book. I'd forgotten about that. I filled in one of these cards when I started this and kept it in the project bag, which is really useful. So these are the Honeybee Dance Socks by Curious Handmade. It's in a homespun house colourway called Perennial Blooms. I did 64 stitches and I started them on the 29th of August 2020 and I finished them on the 20th of July 2023. So I knew that these were, there are two, I'm going to put one down so it's easier just to hold one. I knew these were a whip in a project bag, and I've seen them periodically when I've been clearing out project bags. I've seen them from time to time, and I knew they were a lace sock, and in my head the brain has gone, oh, they're a lace sock, I've probably abandoned them because it's quite complicated lace and I don't feel like doing that, blah blah blah. And then the other day I did feel like doing lace socks. I was like, oh, and I was sorting out my craft room, which you might be able to see is slightly tidier. It's looking a bit better behind me. So I looked in there and I was like, oh, those are those lace socks. And then one day I was just sitting watching Witcher and I was like, oh, do you know what, I'll just grab them out and see if I can work out what point I was at, etc. Well, number one, thank you to Past Me for having made a note of what point I was at, and number two, what was Past Me playing at, because all I had was one pattern repeat of the second sock left to do. That was it. Why on earth had I abandoned it with one pattern repeat left? It was insane. I literally finished these in an evening. So yeah, I'm so pleased to have a pair of lacy shorty socks to wear for the rest of the summer What happened to our summer? It's awful here today. That's why it's so dark. It's just raining. Oh, anyway, trying not to focus on the weather. So yeah, so these are the honeybee dance socks, and as you can see, they've got this beautiful pattern. They are lovely. That is not the cuff that comes with them. They are a full length sock, and that's a little picot cuff that I've just put on them. If you remember back in 2020, I was into the picot cuffs. There's about 4 or 5 pairs of socks that have got these. My 2023 self are like, I cannot be bothered. But yeah, which is a shame because I like wearing them, but they're very pretty. Very pretty. And I love the yarn. It's not quite as orange as it's showing up on the camera, but again, I say that and then on the camera, when I watch it back, I'm like, oh, it does look like it's a bit pinker. But yeah, so that's my 2 FOs. So I'm really pleased with those. I was going to show you through my craft journal later on. So I'll leave that to one side. What else have we got? So we're on to whips now, and this is going to be in no particular order. So the first one is hanging out in my Sherry Iris bag, and oh, this has got the other Friendship Link sock in it, which is cool. So this is a little sock set, self-striping sock set by Giddy Yarns. It's called Spring Fling, and look how wonderful that looks. Oh, doesn't it look amazing? I love it. I love how it's coming out as self-striping. It's just so much fun. And then you can see the striping at the bottom. It's really intuitive to do. Now I do use a stitch counter with mine. So I know which row I'm on. A row counter, not a stitch counter, row counter with mine. So I know which row I'm on. Because there's row 4, 8, 9, 10 and 14 are pattern rows, but it's really easy to remember, so you just need to know which row you're on. I mean, you can count your knitting, but I'm a bit lazy and this is easier. And you have the fun of clicking it, so you know. So yeah, that's the colourway. That's how it looks. So as you can see, I've done one sock. I have cast on the second sock in the contrast mini. Something I was just thinking what I should say is I've done a little roll cuff on my one because it's a little shorty sock. The pattern is for full leg socks, but I've done a little roll cuff on mine. And then I also got this lovely little yarn ball holder from the Summer Wool Festival, which I will show you later on in the episode, all my stuff I got from there, but that's really cute. So that's the yarn. So it's 4 ply. I've done 60 stitches I think, but I think the pattern calls for 64. But it is customizable. Yeah, I love those. They are almost vanilla knitting because I just need to use the row counter. Having said that, of course, if it's dark, it's not vanilla knitting. That's that one. Up this one. Let's give a break for socks for a minute. So this is hanging out in my Flower Fairy bag, and this is my second dotted raise. So where's my little book? I've got a little book in here of where I am or where I'm at it. So I've got another one. I've only got another 2 dotted sections to do, and this one's going to be the same size as the one I'd already knit. Oh, excellent. I have stopped mid-row. Oh, that's really helpful. Bear with me. I'm going to just finish this off and then do it, show it properly. Okay, back, having finished the row. Honestly. So this is the Dotted Rays by Stephen West. I've already made one this year. And I loved it so much I decided I wanted to make all the dotted rays. So this is the advent from Sherry Iris. I may have already made one in her advent, and at the rate I'm going, I'm possibly going to get a second one out, a third one out of it as well. So far I've only actually used the leftovers from the yarn I used to make Sherry's advent. So I'm not onto full skeins yet. There's still, and I've only got 2 more sections to go, so I'm not sure how much more I'm going to need of the advent, so I think there might be enough for another one, which is cool. I love this so much. It's such a pretty advent. It's like a watercolour. It's a lovely easy pattern to follow. I use stitch markers because it's done in short rows, so when it says stop, you know, 10 stitches before the last time you turned round, I stick a stitch marker in, so this one would be going in about there, I think, so I can just knit to there and back, and I don't have to think about it. I don't have to count how many stitches I am before the end. Just stick it in and off we go, which is great fun. So it is vanilla knitting. I can do this one in the dark if I have to. I can just stick my necklight on to put my stitch markers in if I need to, and I love it. It's such an easy knit, and it's very pretty when it's finished. So I'm looking forward to getting that done. I think over the next month that will be a lot of that one getting knit, because I'll have a lot of car journeys, and it's always good for a car journey, that one. So that's that, and then I'm afraid we're back to socks again. Let's do these socks first. In here I have my current lace socks, which are the what are they called? The Summer Flowers socks. They're these ones. By This Handmade Life. Very pretty. And I bought all these up to make last year and never actually got around to making them. Again, I'm using a trusty row counter to keep me straight. And I'm using Mr. B's yarn from Bird Street Yarn. This is Cinnamon Snow. It's very pretty. And I'm on the first sock. So you have seen these before. I was where the little piece of cake is last time you saw these. So I have done a little bit more of these. I did get a bit sidetracked by finishing off those other lace socks, but you know, quick win. Always in for one of those. But yeah, these are lovely. They're so pretty, and I'm loving this yarn, how this yarn's stitching up. So that's what it's looking like in stocking stitch. I think I might just do some plain vanilla socks with the leftovers, because it's such a pretty yarn. So I'm using two circulars. I'm using chalky needles, 2.5mm chalky needles for these, and that's a little DPN Cosy from So Sweet Violet. Love them, but that one they do take a little bit more concentration. They tend to be ones I have I do in the evening when I'm watching TV or a podcast. And then lastly, I've just got my Cosy Memory blanket, so it's the last other whip hanging out in an Elderflower Stitches bag is my, I'm slightly confused as to what I'm doing here, but okay. So this is the Cosy, right, this is the 2019 Advent skein from the Cosy Knitter, which if you remember I showed last time I'd got a few of the back skeins. And again, I'm using 2.5mm chalky needles. Now the idea was, this is why I'm a bit confused, I was doing these two at a time, so I was going to do the stripe on that one and then the stripe on this one and then the stripe. But apparently I decided not to do that somewhere along the line. And I've just knit the sock. I'm trying to think if there was anything going on that required vanilla knitting, but I can't. I don't know why I did that, but I just did. I'm just going to fire down that sock and then I'll fire down the other one. I'm going to guide camp at the end of the week, and I'm taking these with me if I haven't already finished them, and then I'm going to wind up the other skein that I've got and take those, because I can only do vanilla knitting at guide camp, and these would be good fun to do. But yeah, so self-striping. They're 24 stripes of different colours, and I've just kept going all the way through because I have size 5 feet, so I should use all the colours. And what am I trying to say? If I put contrast heels, toes and cuffs in, I wouldn't use all the colours, and I would rather have all the coloured stripes than have the contrast. If I've put in all the colour stripes, I could use a contrast toe, but I'm not planning on it, shall we say. That's as far as I've got with the second one. I don't anticipate getting more than this done at Guide Camp, but you know, I'm a knitter. I want to have just in case supplies. Anybody else do that? Know darn well that they wouldn't knit that amount of yarn, but they still take it with them. Is this a thing? Is it just me, or does anybody else do that? So it's in a Needle Cozy by Sew Me, I think. I'm not sure. Not sure whose that is. It's Liberty, I know that. Right, so that's those ones done. The only other thing I've got left now is the Cosy Memory blanket. Which is here. It's living in a lovely bag from Stitched by Mrs. D. And I'm still putting in the Advent from Cherry Iris. So I've put in, most of it's here actually. I am just put in number 23, 24, no, I've just put in number 24. I've still got to put in the main skein and the contrast skein, and then that'll be done, and I can go back to putting in yarn that I've actually finished from projects. But my aim is to put a square of this from everything that I used this year into my blanket. Then it's a true memory blanket, which I can kind of go, oh, I got that from that, and I got from that from that. I've got friend swaps minis in here, which I also use because they went into some socks, which I still haven't finished. I've still got to do the toe on that sock. That'll be a quick win for the next podcast. But yeah, I love it. It's growing. It is growing. I don't think it'll be a blanket by the end of this year, but it is growing. I'm doing my squares on 2.5mm Leica Licky needles, and I do 20. So I do 40 square, 40 square, so 20 one side, 20 the other, and decrease up the middle. So yeah, mine are a 20 count square, and I do love it. I love doing that. I enjoyed my square this morning that I did. Right, so let's grab some coffee. First up is my purchases that I've got. So this is what's come in this week, or since I last spoke to you. I've also got some minis from Laura, who's the Lonely Knitter, of her Witcher collection, but I haven't actually got them to show this week. I've got some more coming, so when they turn up, I will show them all together. Here's my thoughts. So, what have we got here? Let's have a look. We've got Lay Family Yarn from the Seasonal Treasures, Spring Seasonal Treasures box, which is very pretty. Not quite sure why that's in there, but they're very lovely. I have no idea why they're in there. And then this was the main skein. That's 50 gram skein. Oh, it's pretty. As I said, no clue why they're in there, but obviously I thought that they haven't been shown. Then I've got some Dandelion and Dogwood. We're doing mystery mini bundles, so I've got a couple of those because I love their yarn so much. That's one of them. And that's the other. It's fun, isn't it? So that's them together. They're actually really beautiful. I'm thinking dotted rays would look beautiful in that. So those two greens are actually slightly different. They're sort of showing the same on the camera, but they're not. There we go, that's better. Yeah, make very pretty dotted rays, wouldn't it? I got this from Biff Sugar Yarns, which is Water Lily, and it's kid mohair silk and a merino nylon slub fingering. So these are both together. I have no clue what I'm going to make with this. A hat maybe? I don't know. But it's beautiful. So pretty. I mean, the slub is actually merino nylon. Anybody tried making socks from slub yarn? If so, let me know. So beautiful, so beautiful. I also got this, which is watermelon, which is the 75/25 from Biff Sugar Yarns, because I wanted a pink to make socks from that's just sort of a pinky pink, which I think this definitely throws that up. There's just a couple of spots of blue where I think the dye's just broken. It's beautiful. And then this is a Giddy Yarns one, which was her Peony Dragon trial run, which I loved it. I thought it was so pretty. I messaged Helen and asked if I could buy a skein from her. Look at that there. It's beautiful. Again, socks. Definitely socks. And then I got a quilting planning notebook from the Last Homely House, which is this one here. It's really good. It's got sort of loads of interesting facts and details about different quilts, about how to make them. Not how to make them, but sort of like the sizes you need, etc. It's got like a quilt size guide in the back. I don't want to give too much away because it's a beautiful book. But then you've got like your planning pages, so you can plan your quilts. Now I'm not possibly going to do a quilt anything like that, but I will be doing English paper piecing, and I thought it'd be quite a nice way to keep that all straight in this book. You know what I'm like for a planner. So there's that one. Oh, and then this is my Southern Wool. You're sitting comfortably. Now would be a good time to go get, you know, that cup of tea. Excuse me, I'll have a coffee. Right, where to start? Let's start here first. See if I can get all of these out. 2, 3. Where's the other mini? There's the other mini. So from All Wool That Ends Wool, I've got a bit of a thing about self-striping at the moment, so that's there. This is Somewhere Over. Really pretty. Then this is Glow Stick Self-Stripe. This one is Oasis. And then this one is Mini Rainbow. So these are all 50 gram balls, basically. And then I got a selection of their 20 gram minis to go with them. Aren't they fun? Very, very neon. Very not me. But the I mean, my plan for these are socks for Charlie, so she'll love them. She will love them. Right. Although there was a bit of a neon theme to my shopping, because I did get this skein, which I really loved, and this is Snuggly Styles yarn. Again, it's a 50 gram with a 20 gram I thought that was quite Christmassy. Has it got a name? I don't think it has. So it's Study Stars yarn, and then so pretty. Kind of leapt out at me. I did actually get another skein from her too. Oh. Everything's going to come out now. Let me just see if I can find it. Because, there we go. I went with my lovely friend Sally, and we are trying to find a show special. This is Happy Birthday to me, because it's the lovely lady's birthday. So that we can knit like matching show socks from each show. So this is so pretty. This is the Snuggly Style Yarns show colourway. And looking forward to making some socks out of that. I might actually cake that up and take that with me as well to guide camp. Right, have I got any more yarn in here? Yes, I have. I've got that one. The rest of that is not yarn. So there's two of those, two from that company. So this is from Curated Yarn Company, and this is You've Got Mail, which is a 100 gram set and 2 20s. It's so pretty. This really spoke to me, such my colours. And then this one, which is Barbie's Dream House, because, you know, I've got to get some Barbie on. But again, I mean, aren't they my colours? Gorgeous. I really love that. And then I need to be careful because some of these are presents for people. I don't want them to see them. Then I got this from Siobhan Crafts, which was Mermaid Tears. Again, they're slightly on the neon side. There's a definite neon vibe going on at the moment in my life. This is Siobhan Crafts. There was another yarn there that I really liked, but she hadn't got a skein of it, so I'm going to... She had a sock knit up in the sample, so I'm going to keep an eye out on her website for that one. That's lovely. And then I've got 4 of each of these. So I've got 4 of this one and 4 of this one, which is a soy cotton that I want to do a baby love note for Ira in. And that is from Yarns You Like. As I said, I've got loads of them. It's all in there. I've got 4 of each of them, so I've got enough. All right, I'm back. Right, so that is all the yarn. I've bought a couple of project bags. So this is Jimmy Roo's size, and it's a Peter Rabbit one. It is so cute. I might have to put Ira's love note in this because I think it would be so lovely. It's a good size as well. It's got all of the characters on it, to be fair. So there's that one, and then I saw this one and I can't remember, and I feel really awful. Oh, there we go. Made by me, lovingly by Gail, and it's got bees on it, and I just loved it. It's so pretty. It's got this stripe pattern on the back, and then this beautiful flower on the inside, which I love so much. It's got a pocket and a ring, drawstring. Oh, it's perfect. This one actually is a zip and is just plain inside, but again it's lovely. And then I've got this little pile from my lovely friend Jo, who's Jo Piccalilli, and the first thing I got was an I Spy bag for Ira. So you look through and those things turn up, and then there's a card of like different games and everything that's in there. It's got pink unicorns on it, which I think both her and her mummy will love. So there's that. I got some DPN cozies because I seem to be running short of them. Also, this matches one of my project bags. That does not, but has strawberries on it. And this matches the little yarn cake keeper that I bought from her too. So this is one you put you're yarning. I'm trying to get a few of these because I keep finding tangles of yarn in my bag, so I'm thinking these would be quite cute to use. So that's that. What else have I got? I'm coming to the end now. I've got another little yarn cake cozy, which is got caravans on it, of course. So I was like, definitely got to have that one. Love that. And that is from All Wool That Ends Wool. And I got some scissors from the Knitting Gift Company, which I love. I love that shop so much. But these are to go in my embroidery that I got whilst on a workshop with Nikki Franklin, which I've forgotten that I did and haven't included in my show notes. So there's that. I'll do that next time. I'll show you that next time, because I honestly think this is long enough. And then my lovely friend Sally bought me for my birthday crochet flower book. I need to get the yarn for this, but it has got, which I'm so excited about, in here somewhere. There she is. She's so cute as well. A little snowdrop. So that's for those who don't know, my granddaughter Ira is named after the Welsh for snow, so I call her my little snowdrop, and she was also born in January, so snowdrops. And I love this, and I'm thinking it would be really nice to like knit one a month, because they're sort of seasonal. You've got crocus, and then you've got primrose and daffodil, and I just think wouldn't it be lovely just to do one a month, and she can have a whole shelf of them. So I don't know where I'd start. I'll have to work that out, go to the end and work backwards. So what's the last flower in here? Oh, I'm getting my hair caught in it. Let's have a look. What is the last flower in here? Echinacea. That's cute. There we go. Okay. So yeah, it's lovely. I'm really looking forward to making these. But yes, I need to get the yarn for those. Believe it or not, I haven't got the yarn for that. So that's it. Wow. So much stuff to put away now. I have got a seasonal treasures box from Sherry Iris, but it's box 6, which actually was only I think it only arrived like Thursday or Friday, so I'm going to give them time to get to other places in the world, just in case anybody watches. I don't want to spoil it. Right, so that was my happy mail. So the other thing I was going to show you was my journal, which is my crafters journal. Now I had kind of not fallen out of love with it, but because I wasn't in the knitting project, I hadn't been using it. But I have now got back into it, and so let me show you. So they're my green socks. Let me hold on. Where had I got to? So there, I think this is where I got to. I'm not showing you that one. So that's the page you saw earlier. That was those ones that I'd finished off, and because I'd already done that card, I just put that card in. I love this so much. It's so pretty. And then they're my other FO. They're my other socks. And then I've just put the Giddy Yarns Friendship Socks in, so that's waiting for me to finish, and put the FO photos in there. So each time I do a different whip now, I'm just going to fill in a page. But I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages left. And when I've finished that, this is from Tilly Flop Designs. When I finish those 5 pages, I'll do a standalone video and do a flip through, because I'm really pleased how this looks. It is so pretty. It really is such a pretty thing to look through. It's a lovely memory of what I've knitted this year, and some of the things I have knitted are not in here because for some reason I just fell off the wagon of doing it, and I don't know. I don't know where my head's been actually for the last sort of couple of months. I really don't, but I'm back with it now. Back with it. Nearly didn't podcast this morning, and I kind of like, no, you're all ready, you're all set up, just do it. I'm so glad I did. So it's made me so much happier actually doing it. I'm having very much a case of I really can't be bothered to do it. But I'm really glad I did. It's been so much fun. And now I can put all this stuff away as well, which will be lovely. And as you can see up the top there, I've got all these new boxes on this bit, so that they're all empty. So I can put all my yarn up there. And I've got all my pretty bits from Jules on the top there. And my lovely bags here. There's 3 of those that Brendy made me, and then I've got my little wall hanging which I've finished. That's up on the wall. Oh, I've got one more thing to show you. There it is. Oh, I forgot to show you this. So living in my sewing bag, I think I showed you these on the podcast. I have got a finished object. So this is the hexagon needlebook pattern by Emma Jones, who's the vintage sewing box, and this is for a friend for her birthday. And right, so the backing fabric, this fabric here, that one is some I had in stash. A plain pink came with it, which would have been lovely, but I actually quite liked, I think the person who this is for would quite like that colour, so I did that, and then I matched it with the one in the middle. So it's like little hexagons around the outside and a bigger hexagon. It's all padded, it's really lovely, it's very tactile, and then inside it's just got some felt to put the needles in. And I'm not going to show you the back because the back is embroidered with an initial, and that will give the game away as to whose this is, and I know she watches the podcast. And I loved making this, and it took me a couple of evenings, so I think I'm going to be making more of these. It was really good fun to make. I've got some, don't know whether you can see them anywhere. Can you see them if I move that way? Right, so there's a house at the back there, and then I think there's another, there we go. I've picked up some vintage Cath Kidston sewing boxes from eBay. There's loads along the top there, but you can't see them because I've hidden them. And I want to set them up with everything I need to make a few things. So one of them's got my, I think I've shown you that before, it's got my Quilt As You Go quilt in. So the idea is I can just pick that up and go, and it'll be, I can just use the stuff that's in there. I want to set one up to make these so that I can just pick these up and sit there and make them. So that would be another one. There's a bigger one, a bigger project that I want to do, which I've got the kit for, which is like a sewing case. It's another one of Emma's kits, so I want to set that up in one. But the idea is that I can just go. I don't have to worry about trying to find all the bits and pieces. But yeah, now that's, I've shown you that can go off to its reciprocant, because obviously as normal I am late sending the birthday present. I'm sorry to any of my friends who I send birthday presents to, you will always get them late, but you do normally get them. Oh dear. So yes, I need to put all this away. What else have I got left to say? Okay, so the only thing I've got really for life update, I've already touched on going to guide camp. I've spoken to you about that. I'm going to Old Buckingham in Norfolk after guide camp. That's a bit of a suicidal change because I go to guide camp on this coming Friday. I'm back on Wednesday, and Thursday morning really early we go to Norfolk. So there's not much of a changeover in between. I don't finish guide camp till 4, and I need to leave here about 5 on the Thursday morning. So this week I'm needing to pack for guide camp and pack for Old Buck. But luckily, I mean, I don't take the same clothes, so you know, that's good. But I do need to get both bags packed this week. I've had to do 2 shopping orders, one for this week, one for the going away. it's quite crazy. So yeah, there's that. And then the other news we've got, which is not quite such happy news, is that poor Raven has hurt her elbow. They're worried it might be elbow dysplasia. We won't know until she has the x-ray, and she's going in for an x-ray tomorrow. So hopefully we'll know fairly quickly. I don't know whether we'll know straight away. I'm assuming we will. And then we'll find out whether she needs an operation, bless her. But the huge problem is she's not allowed to do anything, which, bearing in mind that she's a 11-month-old puppy. In fact, she's 11 months today, bless her. She's 11 months today. She doesn't understand that she can't run around and chase a ball, and she's just so miserable. She's so miserable, bless her. And she can't see Nala or Zelda either, because she's not allowed to play with other dogs. So that's impacting us as a family as well. So I've had to go and look after Zelda at Charlie's rather than here, because poor Raven can't play with her. This poor dog. She's had such a couple of months. She came into season and at least she could see the other dogs, but she couldn't go out on her runs. And then since she hasn't been in season anymore, she hurt this elbow, and now she can't do anything else. So yeah, I really feel for her, I really do. But if it's a permanent thing where she can't play with the other dogs, that's going to have quite an impact on us as a family, I think. So fingers crossed she will get better. We will see what happens, bless her. But at the moment she's a very miserable doggy, and it's heartbreaking. It really is. Poor little love. Right, okay, so that's that. In other news, the kids are all fine. The grandchild is brilliant. I love her to pieces. Just a bit sad that I won't be seeing her for a few days, because obviously I'm away. Although, having said that, I think she's going to pop to guide camp, because obviously Kate's a guide leader. I think she's going to bring her like for lunch or something one day, so we'll get to see her for one day. And yeah, I mean, the last thing is the weather, isn't it? Oh my goodness me. I saw a news report that said that July's set to be the hottest month ever recorded worldwide. And it's like, well, not in the UK. Yeah, this is not good. I'm still wearing my summer dresses though. I'm just putting lots of layers over them. Right, I need to go put this away. I need to get on with some work, and I need to put on our dinner. You need to know that, didn't you? Right, I have no idea when I'll manage to get to do another podcast, just because we are away so much now. But I will I'll try and record and maybe put some vlogs up or something, but please, as usual, please do bear with me. If you don't happen to subscribe already, if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, I would be very grateful. I have picked up some new subscribers recently, which is lovely. Thank you so much. Yeah, and I will look forward to doing this all over again when I can. So I hope you're all okay wherever you are. Take care, and I'll see you next time.